recording. Alright, second league of the day, playing some blue-black Murktide Shadow deck we've trophied with a few times on stream. Hoping to have another fortunate run this time. We're trying out 2 copies of Shadow of Mortality in the main over the 2 copies of Inquisition of Kozilek, just to give us our 9th and 10th threat, something that enables Stubborn Denial. A good play we can play on like turn 3, hold up Stub, turn 4, hold up Drown or Counterspell. Great against a lot of the aggressive decks in the format, just to come down and really roadblock them. In the sideboard, the only change we made was we added the second Stubborn Denial over to the sideboard over the 3rd copy of Soul Guide Lantern. Typically, those 2 cards are like really good in the same matches. So if we're relying more on our counter spells to fight against things like Living In, then Soul Guide Lantern is going to be a little less important. So yeah, let's just go ahead and hop in, see what happens. So if I had to say, like, what has been the biggest challenge in Modern recently is how polarized decks are. Like, I really noticed it last night. I played through a league off stream, and I had situations like I kept a hand with Shadow, Inquisition, Fatal Push, Murderous Cut, Drown in the Lock, 2 lands. Like a good hand against most decks. And my opponent just went like turn 1 Tron land map. And I was like, cool. This hand went from S tier to ungodly bad. Just in 1 turn. And I think that happens a lot in this format. Alright, so Living End. I'm not a huge fan of the turn 1 grief. I get that there's a number of times that they get to just like strip away my turn 1 play. But I think a lot of the times you'd rather wait until like turn 2 or something. Alright. So Consider gets to show a little bit of value here. Cycled Street Wraith on my turn in case I drew into Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize are not Inquisition, Thoughtseize. I'll bend Dress down. I feel like die roll really matters too. Like it obviously does, but I find it more modern than other formats. Yeah, by a mile. Like the die roll is huge in modern, especially right now where cards like Ragavan are still legal. Because now you got situations where, okay, my opponent's got a turn 1 Ragavan on the play, and I don't have one of my removal spells. The game basically ends on the spot. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands in our top 14, or out of our first 14 cards we've gotten out of the deck. So they're going for the upkeep. Alright. So get to see if they got the Force Negation. Yep. And I'm also 100% on the train of I think Violent Outburst does not need to be in the format. Like, my problem is players being able to protect their combo with Force of Negation when Force of Negation was like a card brought into the format to stop unfair things from happening. So I don't think you should be able to like protect your instant speed opponent's turn combo with Force. But that's just my 2 cents. Alright, so bringing in all of our counter spells, Chalice, Grave Hate. We'll just bring in 1 Turok. We'll keep it. If I find a second land, the hand's good. Ban Horizon should be... I mean, like, just ban all of Modern Horizons? I mean, I would agree in the sense that, like, I don't think Modern Horizons is a format or a set that should have been printed as it did. But I don't think I would go as far as saying, like, the whole set needs to go. So we'll throw out this Soul Guide here. If opponent's got like a counter spell or something, we can maybe fight over it with Stub. Sure. So that's 1 living in gone. Need another land. 1 more land. Cool. So, how many cards was that? 26. So there's like a reason... Make sure I click the right one. A reasonable chance that they've got another copy of Living in the deck. All right. So this is probably getting to a point where I need to get down Shadow of Mortality. 1, 2, 3, 4 goes to 10. So I go 13, 10, untap 9. So if I find a fetch land, I can get Mortality down. Let's see what they got. So we're just taking Shardless. There's 3, 4, 5. So yeah, they're still off of Riverwinder. And I think I want to just get down Murktide here. So if they do, like, go for a living end, make me sack the Murktide, I get to nuke their yard at least. That's fine. So many cards. So it was that. No, they got the Misty still. So I do get to cycle a couple Street Wraiths here. Bad. Needed them to not find the Cascade spell, that one draw step. Or one draw step plus the... No, don't cycle these in response. Unless they have another one. That was weird. Alright, so here's a Shadow of Mortality. Just passed our turn. Nice. So now we're winning this race. Never mind. Oh, worst case scenario is there. So they had to find the outburst into the Sky Turtle. You also have the Force Negation. So their blind draws there were the Violent Outburst, the second Violent Outburst, the third Violent Outburst, and the Sky Turtle. Am I getting that right? Because they drew the Cascade spell to be able to living in to get the Street Wraith back. This is the second and the third outburst. And then the Sky Turtle to be able to bounce my Shadow. Alright. Just making sure I'm on the same page there. Seriously about to call my LGS and drop out of the weekend's modern event? Well, I can't stop you. Living in such a fun deck to play. I mean, we've got a pretty good matchup against Living in general. But there's times like that where there's not much you can do. Like, hey, opponent sandbagged their Cascade spells. So they were taking natural draws. And then they hit the Cascade spell to force our hand on the Soul Guide. but they hit the Cascade spell on the one turn we tapped off of Counterspell. Because we knew what was in their hand when we played the Murktide and tapped off a Counterspell. So they only had, like, their draws right there. And if they had to cycle Street Wraiths and the Striped Riverwinder to find it, then Soul Guide would have been better. So it's the way it happens sometimes. But the triple Living End plus a Sky Turtle and 4 draws, that was pretty unfortunate. I don't think we had an out to the Living End or the Street Wraith anyway, but still. Yep. And then this is the biggest weakness this Murktide deck has. Is your opponent just playing like aggressive early creatures. Because as soon as they get under you, it's problematic. Because half your deck is just like ways to counter stuff, not ways to kill cheap stuff. Like, if we get down a Murktide, we'll probably be okay, but the problem occurs if we don't get down the Murktide. I'm just letting this go. No, Counterspell. And we're really going to hope that they don't follow this up with like a Liliana. Okay. So we can get a 5/5 Murktide down. Hold up Stubborn Denial. Or we can get a 2 or 7/7 Shadow Mortality down. We could Thoughtseize in Murktide. I think the play is just Fiery Islet, play Murktide as a 5/5. Say go. I think that's the play. Shrink Tarmogoyf. Murktide's out of range of a decent amount of removal spells. But this deck's like almost the epitome of it needs to be on the play deck. You need to have like your 2-drops online before their, or when their 1-drops are. And yeah, the hope there is that they just didn't have like end of turn kill spell, untap kill spell. Throwing Murktide in front of Ragavan. Try to get our opponent to use some stuff to kill the Murktide. Spyro, sure. Ditch Black Cleave Cliffs and another Spyro. Alright, so they can't fire up Raging Ravine this turn. So if I go Dismember, Pay 2 life, Fetch, nope, can't play Murktide. So I think I have to just like Fetch Shock, play Shadow of Mortality, and hope. I'm dead to like K-Command or Lightning Bolt. Or am I better just like getting a tapped Watery Grave and dismembering the Tarmogoyf and hoping? I'm just gonna get tapped Watery Grave and dismember the Tarmogoyf. Not a lot of great plays regardless, but so they just find like Liliana the Veil or something, like game's over anyway. So or just Ren Ping. Make them see it. Ah, no, opponent, I'm dead. You can just Ren Ping me and I can't do anything with this Fiery Islet. You're doing the thing where you give me potential draws. Well, I gotta kill Ren, because Ren kills me. Let's play Shadow Mortality. Play a fetch land, say go. Alright. So big asterisk on this game. Should have been dead last turn. If opponent just pings me with Ren, then I can't use Fiery Outlet for anything, and they just have two guys swinging around Murktide. Okay. Interesting. So I can fetch to 1, play the second Murktide, Exile 3 spells. This grows to an 8/8 and attack. I think that's the play. Believe that's the play. So get Island. Play Murktide. Swing in with this, gentlemen. And if opponent just like escapes Kroxa, I'm just going to let it happen. Because I don't want to be dead to like land Bolt afterwards or something like that. Alright, we wait for him to go to attacks. I would like to kill your Raging Ravine. Should not have won that one. Should not have won that one. Do I want Spreading Seas? Just like mess up mana. Draw a card, mess up mana. Go something like that. Kind of feels like 2009 Jund. Shards of Alara Jund. Like the biggest competition is the blue-white control decks with just like 4 Spreading Seas. Turn 1 Savage Lands. Turn 2 Spreading Seas. Ah! Now my Sprouting Thrynax and Putrid Leech and everything are offline. What I would like to see, if anybody knows anything similar to this, is an article on what the percentages are for how many removal spells you need to play to reliably have, or reliably see the one based off how many 1-mana interactives, or 1-mana creatures or something your opponent plays. Like, how many 1-mana removal spells do I need to play to reliably see one if my opponent is playing 4 copies of Ragavan? What's the breakdown there? Like, if my opponent's on the play and has a 40-something% chance of having turn 1 Ragavan, what is the percentage likelihood I need of playing removal spells to have like a significant certainty that I'll have one, like 80% chance of having a 1-mana interactive spell? Take my Spreading Seas. Alright. Thoughtseize is a great top deck because now I can go turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Double Shadow. Liliana the Veil, Riveteer's Charm. think I'm just taking the Liliana. Take my chances with the Charm. Playing any deck, yeah. Because, I mean, it shouldn't matter what the deck is as long as you know what the number of, like, removal spells you need to have to reliably interact is. Alright, here's my 2 shadows. Please don't have a forked bolt. Please don't have a forked bolt. Please don't have a forked bolt. You got it. No, my dress down. Oh. We got lucky to dodge the forked bolt there. I'll just pass with my 2 shadows. If they don't hit the 3rd land, I'm probably going to like Archmage's Charm to draw 2. Be mana efficient. Yeah. Like, this is what we need in Sultai. Is just go heavier on the blue. Play Archmage's Charms and stuff. That's such a great series of draws. So, pop you. No. No. Bad Jund player. Get out of here. So if they're going to Riveteer's Charm, they need to do it right now. Red, green. That one. And we will consider to try to find like a fetch land to just kill him with a shadow here. That in my graveyard. We'll hit you. Hiya. No. I should have hit the Black Cleave Cliffs. Shuts off Seasoned Pyromancer and Liliana. I was just thinking about Liliana. So that was bad. That was bad. Alright, thankfully it didn't matter, but absolutely should have hit the Black Cleave Cliffs. That's just a case of rushing. What's happening here? We are 1-1 with Dimir, Murktide Shadow that I don't even think I updated the deck list on Stream Decker. So let's do that real quick. Export, save, yep. Go back here, open up Stream Decker. Lost round 1 to what's it called? Living End. It just had like pretty nutty string of draws game 2. But it happens. I think this is the right one. Yeah. It's a hard question, honestly. Most decks I see run between 6 to 8 that's playing red in it. Talking about for the removal spells. I'm going to risk it. I'm always a big fan of keeping more like sketchy hands during these leagues. So I have a better idea of like what's actually going to get there, what's not going to get there when we play premier events. Like in a challenge or something, I'm probably shipping this back like 9 times out of 10. But here we're just like a fetch land away from this hand being pretty solid. Never mind, hand's terrible. What were we thinking? Taking map. And now we like have to find fetch land or we lose on the spot just about. Tower, chromatic sphere. Fetch land. Fetch land, fetch land, fetch land, fetch land. So close. Stubborn Denial would have also been a decent draw there. If they play second Tron land here and then Sylvan Scrying, I'll scoop. But if they just go, yeah. Yeah. Not a whole lot of reason to keep playing that one. But it's funny because I mentioned almost that exact scenario earlier with just keeping a hand that's like really good if your opponent's playing dudes. And then they just slap on a Tron land map there and your hand goes from like reasonable to abysmal in 30 seconds. Bringing a Hercules Recall for almost the explicit purpose of being on the play, having a turn 1 play, they go turn 1 map, and you untap, land, Hercules Recall the map, and make them reset for a turn. But more to like get Ensnaring Bridge and stuff like that. Yeah, we gotta ship this. This is way better. So let's go drop the Consider. Turn 1, hold up Stub for their turn 1 play. Turn 2, Spreading Seas. Maybe find a third land for Double Shadow. Dimir Shadow with Subtlety. So the lists that have been popping up a little bit were running Subtlety, so it's not crazy. Opponent has mulliganed to at least 3. Here's hoping they go to 2. Oh, you know it would be a great prediction? My opponent's mulliganing to 3. They kept 3. What do we think the likelihood is of them having turn 3 Tron alpha mull to 3? Probably like 70%. Probably more than that. Alright, so that's turn 3, triple shadow. Backup power plant. Alright. I'm going to play out the triple shadow. I know that Blast Zone exists, but I think I just want to have these dudes down. So if I draw like a fetch land or something, I get a really big attack in, and if they Blast Zone, I get to untap and replay a Murktide, so at least I have something to do. Saw it happen in my LGS, Mold to 4 and gotten that Tron on curve. I mean, I've had opponents like Mold to 3 and Nat Tron me. I'm like, oh boy. Now, if they Nat Tron me with the backup power plant on a Mold to 3, then I'm going to get a huge kick out of that. Alright. I was gonna say, like, if you're gonna do it to me, but don't make me suffer here. I'm gonna take the Ulamog. Oh, man. And we're gonna, if they draw a Star Sphere, whatever, we're stubbing the absolute hell out of it. Blast Zone. Come on, Blast Zone. Oh, man. I'm not gonna lie. My heart stopped when they had backup power plant there. Like, bro, you can't do that to me. Like, you can't play with my emotions like having backup power plant. Which, I know if you're playing Tron, if you're a big Tron guy, then it's more than likely correct to play the power plant first if you have the backup power plant in hand. So if your opponent has like Ghost Quarter or something that they want to use aggressively, they're more likely to hit that. But on a Mold of 3, I don't think you're playing around them having like a backup copy of something in hand. So I wonder if they just drew it. In which case, all it takes for me to beat Tron is for them to Mold to 3, not hit Tron, and draw Ulamogs. That's my out. Probably kept 2 lands in the Ancient. That's probably a reasonable guess, but I really wonder what, like, the other 4 cards they threw back were. Because, I mean, you would keep, like... I think I would keep 1 Tron land, Star or Sphere, Ancient Stirrings, before I would keep 2 Tron lands, Ancient Stirrings. So, I have to assume that, like, they didn't have a Star or Sphere in hand. Especially if it's Star. But, I guess they were on the draw. So, maybe that's wrong. Maybe it's better to keep the 2 Tron lands. It's better against, like, Thoughtseize. Okay. Never played Green Tron or Eldrazi Tron. Only one I played is Blue Tron. I think I played like an F&M with a friend's Blue Tron list. But all I really play Tron-wise, the only one I've really played is like Green Tron. Mind slaving someone intrigued me, you monster. Blast Zone. Does that mean that I'm not spreading seizing here? Or am I? I think I still am. So I just want to find like thought seizes and counter spells and all that kind of junk. And if they get like basic forest or something, then I'm happy with that. Relic of Progenitus. Okay. Counter spell's good. So I might just have to like force the action on this relic. Never mind. I was going to say on their instep. Probably just have to force the action, but... So there's Tron. They can tick up Blast Zone this turn and crack it next turn. Oh boy. So I need to counterspell something so that I can untap, get a 4/4 Murktide to be able to Stubborn Denial. Just play a Karn the Great Creator. Just 4 mana, throw it out there. There's no way he doesn't have an answer. Better yet, play an O-Stone. It's not an O-Stone at all. I want to counterspell that, but I think I have to save the counterspell. Just need a way to hit like Worm Coil Engine. Okay, second counterspell's not awful. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go. All we gotta do is get 5 attacks in. Easy. Or they just have Ulamog the first turn. That's not an Ulamog. Oh, baby. What's it? Power plant. That's a good draw. All right. Step 1. Disable Tron. And we're just stubbing this. Yes. Oh man, are we gonna get to do it? Are we actually gonna win this game? I don't say a lot that we deserve something, but we deserve to beat Tron every chance we get. Back-to-back maps. No, thank you. So that's 3 maps gone. And I think I'm just drawing 2. All right. Let's take one of those. Murktide here. All right. All we need is 1 turn. And they need green mana, so anything that makes green, anything they put on the stack, we counter here, right? Yeah. Ah, man. Even when you beat Tron, it's just miserable. Nobody has a good time. I can't imagine the Tron players feel great when they lose. 'Cause, like, you don't play Tron because you have fun playing Tron. You play Tron to cheese people out. It's going to feel bad, though, if we, like, 4-1 this league and the loss was to one of our better matchups. I play Living End to cheese people out. I play Battle Rage to cheese people out. When your opponent's sitting at, like, 17 life, and they're like, yeah, I'm not blocking that shadow. Like, Dress Down only puts you to 4. And you're like, that's where you're wrong. Still like Battle Rage more than Dress Down, don't at me. I'm not atting you. I'm right there with you. Dress Down has a higher floor, absolutely, but Battle Rage has got the higher ceiling. Funny enough, I needed the land base for living in for my EDH deck, so I decided to make it. But don't you only need like one of each of the land base for EDH? Which means you still had to buy like 3/4 of a mana base. Do we have the TBR kill? We did not. No, it's not that one. What is it? What is... What's our command for it? I forgot. Is it TBR kill? Or kill... Yeah. Got it. It's been so long since we played a Battle Rage list. Heard you like Death Shadows, OP. Spell Pierce. No. Not even kind enough to hit us for one. How rude. Make a dude. Dude made. Untap. So I let them have this. I go get another hammer. All right. So what's my game plan here? I could steal Shadow or steal something. I could stub the hammer. Like, is my best play to just charm steal the Sentinel? Probably. Hiya. I guess that works. Completely forgot about him just tapping the Sentinel for mana. Well, then we didn't have it out there because they could just tap whatever we targeted. That's fair. I just want to shave a Murktide. Yeah. I don't want a bunch of clunky tides in hand. Alright. Alright. See where things go from here. Boo, boo, Saga, boo. Yay, Flooded Strand, yay. Alright. Step one, get a dude. Okay. Then I'm just going to go to my turn before I do anything. So if I cast Fatal Push and they respond, I cast Push, pay the 1, they respond with Hammer. Am I counterspelling the Hammer? Yes. Now I don't have to. Now the world is fine. So I assume they go get a dude. Mm-hmm. So I'm dead if they have blacksmith skill. Alright. So sequencing there, I could counterspell the hammer, but I'm dead to second hammer. I decided to go with the fatal push and be dead to blacksmith skill instead, because I feel like it's a little bit less likely for them to have blacksmith skill than second hammer. But obviously it didn't work out that way, so it happens. And we're dead to Ginger Brute. Like, let's see. Come on, mana traders. Or not mana traders, goldfish. Hammer time. Yeah, so you're looking at like 4 hammers and 2 blacksmith skills. So even after a hammer, 3 hammers versus 2 skills, they're still more likely to have a hammer than a skill. So, playing the odds there. The odds let us down. Sure. Opponent mulliganing. Opponent's kept 5. They revealed Gigantha, so we're kind of assuming like a Grixis Ledger Shredder. Ah, just Tron. Not Grixis at all. Steven and I were joking about this yesterday, about how I play Tron more than anybody else on this platform. And I am in no way disagreeing with that. Oh, there's the lands we were looking for. Okay. I guess there's a... No, not with Sphere. I was going to say maybe there's a chance they're Eldrazi Tron, but... And Fatal Push might be a little bit better, but not with Sphere out. Alright, second land, please. Thank you. So we'll just cycle this dress down. Do it on their second main phase. Because if I draw into a Murktide, I don't want to not get the counters on it. Okay. Third land is decent. So at least now I can like start charming myself. And the natural Tron. Alright, so we'll be mana efficient, counter with a charm. Four cards in hand, so I have to assume that they're just like all payoffs left. Because they weren't playing lands, they weren't playing... I guess it could be a bunch of green cards. That's a possibility. Oh, stone. 2, 4, 6 left over. Yeah, counterspell the O-Stone. All right. Offer up the trade. Star is fine. So I really want to steal half of this worm coil. Sundering Titan is not fine. We'll kill the Death Touch half in case we find a like a shadow or something. That does mean we can play Murktide. Alright. Now, I would love to just steal, like, them do nothing and we steal this worm coil token. Doesn't appear that our opponent's going to make it that easy for us. Does really feel like they just got a whole bunch of green cards in hand. Try to do nothing. That's a hell of a wish. It is, but gotta start somewhere. Alright, another tower. Rag Tusk. Come on, give me like a shadow. Little shadow off the top. Almost. I'm gonna Archmage's Charm myself here. I'm so far behind that if I don't, like, make something proactive happen, I don't have a chance. So. Drown does not hit Ugin or Ulamog. Sylvan Scry can go get Sanctum of Ugin. Just go get Blast Zone. Go get Blast Zone and not play it. Why would you get Blast Zone and not play it? Warping Whale. Warping Whale one time. Double Warping Whale. Double Warping Whale. See. What's surgical extraction for on the side? Did it update the wrong or upload the wrong list? Because I'm not running surgical extraction. No, I uploaded the right one. Yeah, I don't like surgical extraction, so. My bad, I was talking about the modern challenge list. I mean, I guess it's just there for anything unfair. Like, they saw something in the modern metagame that they thought surgical extraction could attack. Come on, just attack with both of them. Yes. Alright. Block you. Drown to kill you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This thing put 5 counters on this. Drown unlocks. Okay. So if they have nothing, my best draw is another Murktide? No, because then they just take up Blast Zone and kill them both. Shadow Mortality is my best draw. Or just actual Shadow. I think Shadow Mortality is probably better if they're playing 2 Blast Zone. If they're only playing 1 Blast Zone, then Shadow's better. Dude, all these Warping Whale tokens. That's triple Warping Whale. Why so many Warping Whales? No. I need another threat. I would have taken a Street Wraith to hard cast there. O Stone, sure. Alright. I always get a kick when Tron plays, like, bait spells. And it's like, oh yeah, I big-brained you. I played my bait spell. I was like, no, you just drew a whole bunch of payoffs in a row. Like, there was no thought present. It was just, I've got all this big stuff. Let me play it. But back to the surgical issue, like the Cascade decks, Amulet Titan are about the only decks I can consider surgical being like halfway okay against. I don't think there's any other deck in the format that I'd actively want the card against. Also, somebody tell our Tron opponents to stop keeping 7. It's not fair. Tron, stop keeping 7. Thank you. That's all I need. It's like, hey, the thing you're doing, could you not do that anymore? I'm going to go ahead and, like, aggressively spreading seas, not only because I drew the second one, but because I want to see another land be able to kick Turok on turn 4. Relic of Progenitus. So let's cycle Street Wraith first. So if they don't respond with Relic, I can just like play Island and Murktide. It's worth a try. Do I just want to play out Turok just to have it on board? Yeah. I'm pretty sure what I don't want to do is get into a situation like last game where I just have nothing, no pressure, no anything. Weird. Am I stubbing so they can't crack Relic? No. Better Relic. So let's start with popping with Turok. And we'll plan on spreading seas, the tower, or if opponent is just going to let us have our Murktide, we'll do that. Yep. Okay. So Tron is assembled. All right, how do I want to sequence this? Is there a right way to sequence this? I'm trying to think, like, if they have Veil of Summer, what do I want to do? I can, like, Spreading Seas if they Veil of Summer, I Stubborn Denial, then Thoughtseize. I can Thoughtseize first. If they Veil of Summer, I guess I'm Thoughtseizing first. Like, I know I'm Thoughtseizing before attacks. That part's fine, but... it's also a consideration of, like, if they don't have Veil of Summer, did I want to Spreading Seas early to try to find a second land to be able to triple spell? Alright. So they've got another Veil of Summer. So I think I just want to take... how close am I to killing them? Do I want to just take Worm Coil? So they can't just play it out next turn? I think I like that, just taking Worm Coil. Or not next turn, but the turn after. But I am hitting them for 8. They play a land. No, I beat Worm Coil. Because I hit them for 8, down to 10. They play a land, pass. I hit them for 8, down to 2. They play Worm Coil. I just fly over with Murktide. So I don't care about Worm Coil. Karn, I don't beat if they draw another Tron land. So I need to take Ancient Stirrings, so they don't get more looks at another Tron land. Then let's go ahead and hit the mine. And that's lethal if I find a land. Because I grow the Murktide to a 7/7, 3/2's 10. So there's Power Plant. You've got an uncounterable something. I cannot counter that star. You've got an uncounterable relic. You are dead. Why wouldn't you have to hit tower again? I don't think it matters, does it? I guess for percentage points, it's better to hit tower. Because they've only got 2 left in the deck where they've got 3 more mines. So, that's fair. That would be a fair argument. This isn't good enough. This is better. Ditching what? Just throwing back the second consider. So if my opponent plays like turn 1 star or sphere and I get to untap and stub, that would be a little better. But if they play turn 1 map and have turn 2 second Tron land, Doesn't matter too terribly much. Alright, that's not a Tron land. Nope. And I think I'm just going to pass here. They crack map, go look for a second Tron land. I'll fight over Relic. So if they have like Veil of Summer, they use it now. And I get to untap and resolve Spreading Seas. Man, Tron shouldn't be allowed to have relics and Veil of Summers and all this. Backup power plant with a map. Got it. Okay. What are you going to do with your near infinite mana? Pop Relic. You're pretty late. I guess I want to crack Islet here. Because if I draw into a fetch land, I can play out Shadow Mortality and hold up Stubborn Denial. Hugin. Hugin indeed. Do you have the Veil of Summer as well? You do not. O Stone. Alright, so they've got O-Stone, Unknown. Am I playing Shadow? Yeah. Try to minus this Shadow Nerd. Yeah, they probably just take up and kill me though if they resolve an Ugin. This is what I got, OP. If you got more stuff, I am probably dead. Okay. Top deck and play a Worm Coil Engine. One time for justice. Is this just a Warping Whale? Yes! Yes! Oh, man. So, what do we think of blue-black Murktide Shadow? First of all, what did I think of Shadow Mortality? I think it was good. Like, 2 seemed fine. I don't think I saw it too much. It was a relevant 2-mana threat more often than I thought it was going to be. I didn't feel like I had to like jump through crazy hoops to get it online. So I was good with Shadow of Mortality. I would play it again. Spreading Seas was an all-star. Oh, S tier Spreading Seas. Otherwise, like, Murktide's awkward, but we did just play like multiple matchups with main deck Relic of Progenitus, and they just saw a lot of relics very often. So in that regard, Shadow of Mortality was kind of nice to have a backup to Murktide when they had Grave Hate. Rest of the deck was fine. Consider looked really, really good, that league. Just giving us something to do on turn 1 more often than not. Like, it gets a little dicier since we don't have that looting effect. So we've got things like Fatal Push. Game 1 against Tron looked bad, but I think I'd rather have that and keep Consider a little more streamlined than play Tainted Indulgence just for the upside of getting to discard something every now and then. Archmage's Charm was solid. I imagine a face of mill player with exactly 1 card exiled by Tasha's. It'd have to be 2, right? Exile's like 21 CMC. So like Shadow plus Murktide. You're just like, got 2. Nice. Hurkyl's Recall I would not bring in against Tron in the future. Like, I wanted to bring it in just because we had it there, but it's supposed to be for like Hammertime, the food decks, affinity decks, things like that. It's not supposed to be for Tron. So don't get that misconception if you decide to play Hurkyl's Recall. Other than that, deck functioned reasonably well. No major disappointments. Alright, so let's figure out this Esper thing. Where this was Destructotrons, so let's open up a new copy, and we will rename you Esper Shadowblade. How about that? Because I think the Stoneforge package is a pretty good idea. So get rid of these. Get rid of some number of these. Have you played Mortality? It was fun to see someone else rock it. It was pretty fun. Actually, Giver of Runes is a little bit better if we're going like the full Stoneblade package. So Forge Mystic. They're running a Cauldron Complete, a Sword of what? Which Light and Shadows like the discard. No. Return a dude. Gain 3. So no, not that one. I don't really want to do Feast and Famine. I think Fire and Ice is better. Let's see. Sky Illusion coming in with a follow. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Happy you played Mortality. It was fun to see someone else rock it. The card was better than I thought it was, or thought it would be. Like, I was pleasantly surprised. So what if we... What am I moving where? I don't think I want Forge Tender. I don't think I want Fulminator. I don't think I want Dothy. But if we went like Unlicensed Hearse, couple Soul Guides, cut Dress Down, cut Unearth, put a Batterskull in the side, because you can have like Batterskull against decks like Burn and still be really good. Or we could even run the Batterskull in the main. Like, don't find a shadow, just play a Batterskull. Said I was going to play it as a joke with my friends, and I was impressed. Like, I didn't think the card was going to be very good. And it ended up, like, really carrying its weight. Could cut Baubles without any synergy. If we cut Baubles, we'd probably rather just, like, cut Wraiths. Or cut Ledger Shredders too. Like, what if we... What if we cut all of this? Or maybe like that. Let's trim up a little bit. Swish Gaming, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome everybody. We're brewing up some Esper Shadow Blade right now. We had somebody that wanted to see some Esper Shadow today, so we're kind of messing around with what this looks like. Figuring out what kind of counts, what cards we want. So if anybody hopping in has any opinions, now's like the perfect time to drop them. But for everybody coming over, if it's your first time here, my name's Michael, or Control Freak on Magic Online. Play a lot of Modern, especially a lot of Death Shadow. So if you're interested in the Death Shadow archetype, this is a pretty good spot to be. Let's see, what about images? Is this the one I think it is? Or Resolve Charm only gets something 1 or less. Yep. Esper Shadowblade, that's a deck I've worked on a bit a year ago. Well, then drop us your opinions. Tell me what worked, what didn't work. I've played Esper Shadowblade once, and we got to strap up like a Gurmag Angler with a Batterskull, and it was the most fun thing I've done in a while. So we're kind of starting with just that idea. We do need more guys. I agree there. But we don't really have to go too overboard on creatures because we can just like Stoneforge up a Batterskull, and that is a creature. Oh, we also have Lion Sash now. We need to think about that one, because that's just like a dude we can go get that grows and can turn on Stubborn Denial. Yeah, so when I played it, Dredge was really popular. So we ran the main deck Batterskull, because if your opponent was on like Dredge, you could just get a Batterskull and like not lose. So, but I do like that Lion Sash inclusion, just to be able to like Stoneforge up a dude that can grow and hit graveyards and blah 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 blah. I don't know how much I like. I want some number of Stubborn Denial. Doesn't have to be a lot, but just like a couple. And we could go a playset of Wraith and really go like over the top of the try to find like Stoneforge plan. Played around with the reality chip as well, but I doubt it's good enough. Yeah, I'm not too high on reality chip. But I think Gurmag's a decent fit here. Kind of making the mana base so you don't have to go heavy on any one color. So I don't want to be heavy blue with Murktide and have like Lion Sash in here. Need to get a bunch of Hallowed Fountains, but then we've got Shadow and stuff. Let's see. 4 spots left. Do I just want to run like a playset of fatal pushes or something? Or dismember and like a couple pushes? Just be a little more in the cheap stuff plan. 4th drown. I'm worried about like the drown in the locks with the prismatic endings just like not playing well together. I mean, it could be that that's the answer, but like maybe we just play it for the sake of, hey, we don't know what we're doing with this list yet, so we need to throw something together. I think 3rd push, yeah, I kind of like 3rd push a little bit better as well. So we've got 2 more slots in the sideboard. How about a... We're fetch shocking most turns, so curving single white into blue-black. It's not that it's difficult to curve single white into blue-black. Color-wise, I'm worried about this exiling a 1-mana spell and then Drown in the Loch being dead on turn 2. It's like your opponent plays Black Cleave Cliffs, Ragavan, you exile it, Drown in the Loch's dead. Where Fatal Push, this is like enabled more often than not. Still got another spot here. Also, do we want like Snapcaster Mage? What about like a single Snapcaster? Not in the sideboard, but in the main over something. Gives us an extra creature, doubles up with like our hand disruption and some of our spells. We can move what to the board? Move the 2nd stub to the board. Let's do like this. I'm kind of feeling it. So export Esper Shadowblade. Upload. Full trade. Confirm. So let's update Stream Decker. Did I have...